It did not adjust my remarks, however, but I wanted to kind of touch on some of the things that were discussed. This meeting and of course the last meeting when it was heavily covered by the media. At the last meeting we talked about the police department, and as I chair health and safety, the safety of the city is my #1 concern. I received a number of calls from residents expressing their sincerest concern about their safety in the city. And one of those concerns were from Ms. Johnson, as she did stand up here and speak on the fact that a warrant was served at her residence and the door was kicked in, of course. Entry is entry in law enforcement, but it's the way you address it. There is a measure of public courtesy, and you address those concerns in a decent manner when you're serving a warrant. So when she did let me know about the complaint and the pointing of the gun, I told her that I would send an email up to the chief's office asking for more information as to how and detailing how the officer conducted himself. Also, the break-in at Coney's. I am on the opposite street, the rear end of Coney's, and it saddens me that people feel as though they can come into the city and take from us. Coney's has, Hayden Family Foods has made vast improvements in their sales and in their decorum. They've improved the parking lot. They had a few community events. They've become more courteous. The produce has become more sufficient for our purchasing. I really have a hard time pinpointing why people do what they do. Our police, of course, they have a high volume of calls between those wee hours of the night. I'm not excusing any of that. And the owner, when I spoke to the owner that morning, I actually showed up to the store, with the police actually. And he detailed that if his gates were ever locked, that's a problem. So these individuals did, however, lock the gates. They did enter through the back of some sort. And I can't talk about it in depth because it's still under investigation, and I'm letting the powers that be investigate it thoroughly. But I just wanted to serve the community notice that safety is a #1 priority, and that our businesses will remain protected as we go through this trying time with the loss of police personnel. There's also been some break-ins area-wide. Possibly every street has had some victimization of some sort through either break-in or stripping of copper, theft of a car, drug sales. Something has happened, particularly possibly on every street in East Louis. Mr. Irby did inform me that his house was broken in numerous times and that professional courtesy was of a major concern when police responded to his house. I say all those issues relative to our safety forces for a reason. Yes. I really want to make it known that this council in previous months did ask numerous times for alternatives. I did speak with the chief of police in an off-record conversation after a council meeting, and there was some good dialogue there. However, I wanted to point out that we're at the end of our road, so how can we take 2 steps back and try to go deal with something that's already a dead horse at this point? In the months of April, May, June, July, $61, $66, $61, $68,000 in revenue brought in through citations and whatever the court deposited into the city's account. August, $150,000, $315.91. That's when the financial plan was issued to council from the administration. At that point, we were told that if we go ahead with the layoff or cuts, because we're not the ones that lay anyone off.
Yes.
If we go ahead with the cuts, ladies and gentlemen, $150,000 would not be in the revenue. Well, it wasn't in the revenue in the previous 3 months, and it's kind of not in the revenue in the latter part of the months, all except November, $142,000. Previous October was 93.26, and December, month of December, I guess the layoff was evident, $67,000. It's not consistent. I was hoping that our traffic enforcement, and I know some things have happened within the department to, you know, kind of cause restructuring, or people placed on different assignments, or we've lost some officers and what have you. But that's not what you guys are being told. You guys are being told a specific number in which we've lost. You haven't been talked about changes in the police personnel. You have not been told about the revenues that the traffic cameras are not bringing in that were to supplement a layoff. If you guys remember, as residents, you were told to vote for an issue that was on the ballot. That issue, while on the ballot, and these individuals stumped the pavement for their job.
Sure did.
They were told, in whatever form it was told to them in, that they would not lose their jobs if this camera situation passed. You all heard it, and please don't act like you did not.
Everybody heard it.
I'm not blasting anybody. I just want to show you the integrity of an office that one should hold. It's not about what side of the table you're sitting on or how you're projecting it. I just wanted you to know, as individuals of this community and stakeholders in this community, if you're selling a bag of tricks, it's not going to work when it's all detailed in black and white. It's not like we don't want to help the situation, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that the runaround has been happening so long. How can you sit down and help something? You just let the thing happen. The auditor said one thing, then we on this side of the fence, we do another thing. They say one thing down the street in the county, we come do another. They sent us a letter saying we place you in fiscal emergency, and then yet we don't take the necessary precautions to make sure that we don't get ourselves in a deeper enough debt. These same fights are mirroring the same fights on Capitol Hill, yet they at some point listen to one another. When that fiscal cliff thing was happening, they at some point stopped to listen to one another.
That's right.
When I was sworn in June 25th, that within 48 hours, I was sitting upstairs in my former boss's office saying, what can we do to work together? I can care less how I was let go or how I was dismissed. I hold a different position now, and now it's time to work together. I said that. You guys don't know I said that, but I had 2 separate conversations with Mayor Norton in his office. I also petitioned to meet with Chief Spots as well. We'll be meeting probably soon, but we haven't met to date because of politics. But I'm just going to be transparent to you guys to let you know that it's not an I and me thing, or council versus the mayor. Everything is always in black and white for your understanding, ladies and gentlemen.